Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome, guys. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day, enjoying yourselves. All right, so welcome to this live stream, guys, where I try to answer some of your questions that you guys might have. And this is Saturday, as you guys know. Saturdays we answer questions, live stream. Alhamdulillah, week's gone very fast, guys. Extremely fast. I just got back from my walking, alhamdulillah. Been doing my daily walking, trying to get 10,000 steps in. And I think definitely you guys should try it. If you guys really want to improve your health, get yourself a smartwatch and get yourself walking, inshallah. Right, so okay, let's have a look at Wa alaikum assalam, YouTube. Abu Bakr, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Right, so I also got a new book, guys. New book, mashallah. I'm going to tell you about the new book as well. I'll put it on my social media as well. So, new book, inshallah, I'll tell you guys about that later. Let's start answering some questions now. So, you got Curious Cat. Let's see what you guys have been saying on Curious Cat. You see that? Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahla wa sahlan, you see that? I was doing wudu, and while doing wudu, I rubbed my eyes, making sure there's any crust or mucus. And so I did and done prayer as normal. Later I rubbed my corners of my eyes. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so your wudu is fine. Okay, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I bought NVIDA stocks a while ago, and I'm finding that out they are kind of support Israel. The company did a double donation match for their employees to either support Israel civilians and the Palestinian civilians, capitalizing civilians, because in my opinion that's different from supporting the military. Simply each employee was given the choice. No, it's fine, you can keep them. You can keep them. Is it okay to pay zakat about 3 weeks early? My zakat days? Yes. So long as you give the right amount according to what you owe on that day in 3 weeks' time. I'm very good, my brother. You see that? Hope you're well, alhamdulillah. How does one do zakat on ISA account? So, first of all, you got to find out if the ISAs are halal. If they're not halal, then obviously there's no zakat. You got to get rid of all of it. If it's halal, then what you basically do is it's difficult because of the multiple investments. So you work out what your ISA is worth, and according to Mufti Faraz and others, they say that you just have to work out 25%. So 25% of the value of your shares, and then you give 2.5% of that. So if you've got ISAs that are worth, let's say, £1,000, 25% of that is 250, and then 2.5% of 250. Just work that out. Assalamu alaikum. I am a new revert. On FTM. I was born biologically female, but took testosterone injections for 5 years, and now have a deeper voice, beard, etc. Do I have to wear a female hijab in public and follow the female rules for aura? Difficult question this is. Okay, I have to come back to this one. For a person who will do Qurbani, it says you shouldn't cut nails. Does this include removing any hair from the face? Yes. Alaikum assalam, Musa. Welcome. Ahla wa sahlan. H. Is it allowed for a woman to do a hair cut in different layers? Yes. So there would be permissibility for that. So there's a difference between some Hanafis on this issue. Some Hanafis are quite strict on this, and they say women can only trim their hair. Other Hanafis say No, she can cut her hair as long as it does not resemble man's hairstyle. Wa alaikum assalam, crypto, ahlan wa sahlan, welcome. Is hair dye permissible for a woman if husband asks? Yes, it's fine. If you have young children aged 13 to 18 and they have savings around £1,000 each, is Qurbani wajib on them? So if they are over the age of puberty, yes, they have to do Qurbani. Yeah. Is zakat obligatory for someone who has more than nisab value in gold from wedding but no money and no job? Yes, it's necessary. They can pay later. They can just make a note of how much they owe and they can pay later when they get cash. Or if they want, they can sell some of their gold and pay from that. It's up to them. Huzaifa, why does Darsi Nizami have Bayquniya and Nukhba, which are Shafi? Shouldn't we be doing Hanafi Usul Hadith? Of course, we should be. And the Hanafi Usul Hadith is in the Usul Fiqh. So I think madrasas should be teaching Usul Fiqh very well. Madrasa should at least be teaching 3 books of Usul Fiqh, I think. And in the end of every Usul Fiqh book, there's always a chapter on Usul Hadith. The problem is the method of Usul Hadith of the Hanafis is very different from the Shafis. Right? So if you want to understand how Shafis grade Hadith, which you will have to probably know anyway, then you will need to study the Shafi method. Yeah. When a woman is praying and her hair neck is showing, does she have to repeat it? So if it was showing for more than one rukun, so more than the duration of one movement, so like standing or in ruku, so which is about, like, let's say, 5 to 10 seconds, then she has to repeat the salat again. If it's a lot, if it's a little bit, it's fine. Okay, let's check out. Stevie, wa alaikum assalam. Mufti, when you're at Hajj, your daily 5-time namaz, you pray full rakat or 2. So if you have gone for Hajj and you're only going to stay in Makkah for less than 2 weeks, then you do 2. Yeah, 2. But if you're praying behind the Imam, then you're obviously going to pray whatever the Imam prays. If someone has studied Sarf and Nahu, what's the best way to application? I'm still struggling to read it without it. So you need to read storybooks. Yeah, you must read Arabic storybooks. There's no, what do they say? There's no jara. There's no way out of it. You must read as many kids' storybooks as possible. So I've got a list here. Reading books. And it's just going to take time, but you have to just go through it. Get a dictionary and just go through it as much as you can. Can we pray Isha straight after Maghrib? Is there any conditions? So I would say no. There's some scholars that allow it. I would say no. You should at least wait for at least about half an hour or so. Yeah, at least about half an hour. I pray at least 1 hour after Maghrib. I myself pray 1 hour after Maghrib. So if you can stay up till 1 hour after Maghrib, if you're going to stay up till late anyway, then you should pray after about an hour. But if you have to go to sleep, then I would say about half an hour. What's the difference between Hayatul Sahaba and Surah bin Hadith? Hayatul Sahaba is a totally different book. So what I would suggest is read both of them. Yeah, Hayatul Sahaba is more about stories of Sahaba, in the sense that it's more to do with incidents that took place. Whereas Surah bin Hadith Sahaba is biographies, short biographies of selected Sahaba. So it depends which one you want, what you're interested in going into. Surah bin Hayatul Sahaba might be a bit difficult to read. The style is a bit difficult. Shadman, wa alaikum assalam. Ustad, what's your take on istighatha? So what do you understand about istighatha? If you tell me what you understand, then I'll explain to you. According to you, does Isha occur in the UK? Yes. Yeah, I would say occurs, because as in the sense that Isha occurs in the sense that we can calculate it. So therefore it does occur. But the Isha official time does not come in like now. Right? So it's really, really late. Right? So I would say you can use taqdeer method. Ameen, Jazakallah khair. My brother, you see that? Is Ascent to Felicity a good book? Yes. For a beginner, definitely. It'd be a very good book to start off with. Assalamu alaikum, my brother Junaid. Looks like I joined at the right time. I recommend reading the books. Kamil Kailani, very easy kids book. Excellent. Look at that. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, and I got a new book, guys. I'm going to show you guys in a bit. It's How to Overcome OCD. Remember the book that I put up on my Telegram? So it's a book I've been reading. I started reading it today, and it seems very, 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 very helpful for people who have waswasa, all these kind of thoughts. I would definitely recommend, if anyone's got intrusive thoughts and they spend too long in the toilet, or they spend too long in doing wudu, or they have thoughts about whether they have committed acts of kufr, or whether their wife's divorced, or I would definitely recommend this book. Yeah, it really opens you up into the problem of OCD, how people look at OCD, what are the symptoms, how to overcome it as well. Is entering Makkah in ihram wajib or sunnah? Yeah, so if you're going to, yes, so if you're going to go to Umrah, if you're going to go for Umrah or Hajj, then obviously it's considered to be a shart, that is wajib, necessary. What to do if you enter without ihram and want to do Umrah after a few days? Then you would have to go back, you either have to give them, so you either give them or you go back to the miqat and you re-enter. Yeah, so you can go to Taif, like if you're going to Makkah, you can simply just go to Taif, somewhere south, which is it's not that far. And then you spend an hour or so, and then you come back. كيف يوم أستاذ؟ الحمد لله ما شاء الله يومي كان جميل جدا، كما تعرفون من وجهي، ترون الشمس غير لون وجهي. Are women allowed to do horse riding? Yes, so long as they obviously appropriately dressed. So can we study Aqidah Wasitiyya after Tahawiyah? Yes, you can. The reading books you sent, is there any particular order? Well, I would suggest wherever there's a beginner, just start with the beginner ones. Start with the big. So what I would say, open them up, check them, and look at which one you find to be easy and start with that. So you have to look at your own ability, basically. Like saying, Madad ya Abdul Qadir, personally asking these entities for your needs, haja with, I would say no. I would say it's not allowed. This is the position of Imam al-Alusi, the famous Ruh al-Ma'ani, the Mufassir. He held this position and said it's not allowed. Yeah, if you're going to ask, you're going to ask Allah directly. Will we be able to speak Arabic after the Heirs of the Scholars course? As I've heard many people say, Alim courses are bad for spoken Arabic. In the Heirs of the Scholars course, we don't teach spoken Arabic. No. In the full-time course, we do. So in our full-time course, all of our students that graduate, they can speak Arabic, write Arabic, no problem. There's many of our students in the part-time who, in their own time, they practice Arabic. So some of them can speak and can understand of it. Do Ahnaf allow oysters and octopus to be eaten? So the ruling would be the same as eating prawns. So if you eat prawns, then you can eat them. If you don't eat them, then can we read Aqidah Tahawiyah without commentary? You can try, but I would say it's very important you read it with the teacher. There's those students of knowledge who are addicted to vlogs and gaming. How should they deal with it? What I would suggest is try to get yourself something which is more productive. Try to get yourself into a hobby or some sort of a sport or something which go for a walk somewhere. Go for a walk, do some reading, hang out with friends. The main thing is you need to try to give yourself some sort of an interesting thing to do, preoccupation. Does Al Academy have an email by which I can contact them? You can't find their website. Al Academy. Yes, yeah. Al Academy they got a website. There are many shuruhat Nukhbat al-Fikr Ibn Hajar. Which do you recommend? So, first of all, his Nuzha. Nuzha is the most important thing to start off with. So, Nuzha is very important. And normally, this is what I teach. I first of all teach Nukhba, then I teach Nuzha. Then, after that, with Nuzha, I make the students read Mullah Ali Qari's commentary. Yeah, so the commentary of Mullah Ali Qari on Nukhbat al-Fikr. Make them read that. And I also make them, although it's not technically a commentary of it, but I also get them to read توجيه النظر by Al-Jazairi, and I also get them to read Tadrib al-Rawi. Yeah, so those I make students read them, and then I ask them questions about it. So I would definitely say Nuzhatun Nadar is very important. And Nuruddin Itter's Ta'liqat and Nuzhatun Nadar really are enough. If you get his one, you can get it online PDF. What's the best biography of Salahuddin English? I have no idea. Can a woman wear a niqab when in ihram for less than 12 hours and give sadaqah? Yes, she can. Are books like Tasrif al-Izzi and Al-Manfaluti beneficial to study? Yes, definitely. I've got a series on Manfaluti you can check out. Please, Sheikh, do you know Mufti Abu Layth, and what is your... Allah knows best. Wa alaikum assalam. I pray you are well. Alhamdulillah, very well. Hope you're well. Muhammad wa alaikum assalam. I forgot if I asked you a question on Curious Cat. Can I ask it here too? Yes, you can ask inshallah. A friend is going Hajj and is asking, can he join Zuhr Salah in Arafah in the tents? He follows Hanifa. According to Abu Hanifa, if you pray behind the main Imam from Masjid Nimra, then you can Jama. According to Sahibain, you don't do Jama. Yeah, so technically, if he's praying in his tents on his own, he doesn't do Jama. Tips on studying Maqamat. Have you studied it? Yes, I've actually got a few parts of it. I've got on my uruk.com. So on my uruk.com, I've got 2 or 3 parts of it I've done. Uruk.com. It's a very good book. I think students shouldn't study it straight away. Students should study it later on because it's filled with ibarat and expressions which are quite technical. But yeah, I've gone through the whole 50 maqamat, as in I've studied the whole 50 maqamat, but I've done an explanation of 3 maqamat on my uruk.com. Does Sufa have Tajweed course to get ijaz in Hafs and Asim? Yes, on the weekend Sundays. On the Sundays. And the full time we actually do qira'at. Yeah, the Ashra qira'at. Do a Sufa Institute do boarding? No, they don't. Is it permissible to go to a mixed gym as a man? As long as you don't look at women and stuff like that, then. Can you suggest the books written by Imam Sibawayh? Yeah, Google them. Yeah, Google them, inshallah. So his main book that he's got is Al-Kitab. Is the famous. I don't know if any other of his are published, but Al-Kitab is published. But if you Google them, you say type in Imam Sibawayh's books and you'll find someone's written an article on it. So tips for studying maqamat, I would say, it's all about, I would say, ilm al-badi. If you're very good at ilm al-badi and vocab, you'll be very good in maqamat. Will a person be held accountable if they commit sins due to black magic or jinn possession? Hopefully not. I was reading through Yusuf Nabhani's book on Istighatha through Nabi Muhammad and Awliya, but I myself wasn't really satisfied with it. You wouldn't declare it to be shirk? No, I wouldn't. It's not shirk. How to choose madhab? Choose a madhab that is easy for you to access. Yeah, so one that's easy for you to access, choose that. Yeah, don't go for a madhab which is difficult for you to learn. Are the 10 days of Dhul Hijjah more superior to Ramadan? No, they're not. Because the 10 days of Dhul Hijjah are explicitly in the days of Ramadan explicitly a hukum from Allah. Whereas the 10 days of Dhul Hijjah, these are virtuous. Asking for the email, you said yesterday to contact them to see if I have other ikhtilaf and stuff. So don't they have a contact? They have no contact at the bottom. Yeah, they got a phone number, you can phone them, contact them. Yeah, make an account with them. You should be able to contact them. Are there any restrictions on praying with cartoon posters, toys in front of you? If they are hanging, then you should not pray in front of them. But if they're just lying on the floor, then it's permissible. Do you know any good amils I can contact in Birmingham, Leicester area desperately in? Yes, I know Shaji, but I think he's in Bury. Yeah, he's in Bury. If you email me, the emails come at the bottom. If you email me, I can give you contact details for him. Can you raise your hand whilst hearing salam whilst in salah? There's hadith I came across, not according to Hanafis. Hanafis say no. So in Salah, basically in Salah, it was allowed to speak in Salah before. So what happened was certain acts in Salah became prohibited over time. So when we have hadith where Sahaba spoke in Salat, or the Prophet ﷺ did movements in Salat and he moved his hand and indicated when someone gave salam, we can't tell exactly which part of Islam that was. So because we're told in Salat to be still, قُومُوا لِلَّهِ قَانِتِينَ, we assume that these hadith were in the beginning of Islam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Fresh Prince, ahlan wa sahlan, habibana. Aisha, Ustad, could you please explain about joining Zuhr and Arafat again? Yeah, so in Arafat, so when you go for Hajj, the Prophet ﷺ, he combined the Zuhr and the Asr Salat together at the same time. Yeah, so you pray the Zuhr, 2 rakats, and you pray Asr straight after it. And I've actually got on check my Kuduri videos in there, I've explained it over there. For Muqaddama, can we just drink the water? Madmada. Can we just drink the water? Would it be enough? According to Hanafis, yes, drinking water would be sufficient, like washing your mouth out, as long as all the water has gone throughout your mouth. If you performed Umrah as your first from Masjid Aisha, then do you need to give them? Yeah. So if you entered the miqat without ihram, you have to give them. Unless you go back to the miqat and then redo your ihram again and do your Umrah again, then it's fine. Is Eid for you Sunday? Sunday, yeah. You differentiated in your hadith place regarding hadith for fiqh and hadith that are more like for isnad, etc. And we don't base our fiqh on later. Yeah, that's right, my brother. Salu alaikum assalam, ahlan wa sahlan. Tans, do you need any more proofreaders for your book? More than a proofreader, what I need is someone to give feedback on it. So I need someone who preferably has not really got too much exposure in Hanafi madhab, or has studied Hanafi madhab but not that well. So they can go through it and they can give me feedback. I need to get like full feedback on it. Yeah, so it's not just I don't want someone just to read it and say, MashaAllah, this is so nice, amazing. I want to give proper feedback. That's what I would like more than anything else. Okay, Bashir, why is the days of nights of Dhul Hijjah virtuous when Allah swore on these nights? Why is the days not the nights of Dhul Hijjah virtuous? So all the days are virtuous as well. Yeah, all the days and the nights. Yeah, so walayalin ashr, the night comes with the day, doesn't it? So if the nights are virtuous, then also the days are virtuous as well. Yeah, because the days follow the nights. But it's just that the nights are obviously more virtuous because there's ibadat in there that take place. Is Tabligh Jamaat bid'ah? No. Is praying Asr according to other starting time, other schools allowed? Yes. Is using bamboo water permissible for wudu? I don't know what bamboo water is, because the water is in the plant and you're not to use. So is it just reserved in the water or is it squeezed out of it? I don't know how it works. I heard from my father that 10 days of Dhul Hijjah are better than days of Ramadan, but the nights of Ramadan are better than... I have no idea. I've never come across that before. If you need to check your blood sugar regularly, do you need to renew your wudu every time? Yeah, so if you prick your finger to check the blood and the blood comes out, then you have to repeat your wudu according to the Hanafi school. So it doesn't really stay in its place because the blood has actually grown bigger than the size of the wound itself. So that means it's flown out the wound. Mufti Taqi Usmanis have said this, that istikhada. No, I don't think he said that. I've never... Yeah, I guarantee he hasn't said that. Please, Sheikh, I have memorized 25 juz of the Quran and I want to go and study Arabic grammar at the same time memorizing. Yeah, what I would suggest is start with basic Arabic grammar, inshallah. Find someone online that you can study with and inshallah start like that. The main thing is just start your Arabic grammar journey in bits, small little bits. Can adults keep toys like teddy bears, Pokemon. Yes, I would say they'll be permissibility as long as they don't honor them and they keep them away from when they're praying. If you're welcome, Aisha. If you rent a property and do business in it, do you need to give zakat for your TV or bedding, etc.? No, you don't. So check out, Mr. Foodie, check out my crash course on zakat. I've explained in there all the things you have to give zakat on. Go on my YouTube channel and check out crash course on zakat. Yeah, zakat crash course. And over there, let me see if I can find it. Okay. Crash course on zakat. Zakat. Ya Allah. Why don't we, I am not criticizing Allah, but is there a certain reason for this methodology or where I can learn more the usuli reason? So have you done my usul hadith course? What I would suggest is do my usul hadith course. And in there I explain it all. It's not I can't explain it in 2 minutes. It requires explanation of the whole concept of how the science of narrating hadith evolved over the years. Then I'll email you for that with Saab in the case of inshallah there might be areas in books that I haven't studied and can feedback on. Inshallah, that's fine. Can one use the Shafi ruling for wiping until the ankle during wudu, but use the Hanafi ruling for non-mahrams? Touch not breaking wudu more. What is the ruling of mixing? No, you can't do that. Yeah, so Hanafi say this is called talfiq. Talfiq, that is prohibited. Yeah, you can't do that. What is the ruling of mixing rulings from madhabs? So generally it's not allowed unless there's a dire need for it. كيف نساعدك بعملك؟ ادعو الله لي. ادعو الله أن يسهل لي الأمور. What about washing portions of the mouth in different scoops until we wash the entire mouth? Yes, that's fine. Yeah. So 1 scoop is fine, 3 scoops is fine. But it does not grow bigger. What was your question? Yeah, it does technically. Does it come out of the wound? Is the size of the blood bigger than the wound? Yes or no? So if it is, that's fine. That according to Hanafis, it means it's flowed. Because the definition of flowing according to the Hanafis is it has to go beyond the perimeter of the wound. That's what it is. So because the prick is very, very small and the wound is heavier, it doesn't have to carry on flowing forever. As long as it's flown out the wound, even if it stops after that, it's flown out of the wound. That's the main thing. Mustafa, according to the Ahnaf, can perform Umrah and just cut a few hairs with scissors? I've seen people that yes. As long as you cut hair, quarter of your head. So hair, you take a quarter of your head and you cut that. It has to be at least a quarter. Assalamu alaikum, Abdullah. Sheikh, can you explain what a damir al-sha'n is? How do we translate it? Damir al-sha'n basically is where you have a damir attached onto like it's usually onto the end of a haruf mushabbah bil fi'l, like inna, and we translate it as the matter is. So for example, like innahu zaydun qa'imun, innahu zaydun qa'imun. So what you do to identify its damir al-sha'n, you put your finger on it, and if you can read the rest of the sentence correctly without it, it's damir al-sha'n. So innahu we translate it as indeed the matter is, like the situation is, the issue is that Zayd is standing. So it's used for like making something magnificent. Imam Nawawi said, وَأَعْلَمْ أَنَّ الْمُخْتَارِ فِي كيفية قراءة المعوذات وقل هو الله أحد أن يقرأ كل واحد منها 3 مرات متتالية. Only if you squeeze your finger Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen, the people that have done it, actually, I've seen it go bigger than the size of the wound because the prick, remember, is very, very small. See that the whole point of doing the test, the blood test, is that the blood has to come out. So it has to go beyond the size of the prick. The prick is very, very small. If the blood was the size of the prick, you wouldn't be able to see any blood then. Yeah, if the blood stays within the wound, then it's fine. It doesn't break. But Hanafi's, according to Hanafi's rule, if it goes outside of the wound, if it flows on its own outside the wound, even for a short while, wudu breaks. Yeah, or I would suggest test it, and if you want to email me a picture of it, you can make a test and show me, and then we can see. Would you recommend the 3 Medina books for studying Arabic accompanied with teacher? Of course, definitely, it's very good. Could you translate this and explain what it means? So, wa'lam al-mukhtar, then know what is the preferred position in the way that the mu'awwadat and qul Allahu ahad are supposed to be recited is for each one to be recited 3 times, one after the other. So each one should be recited like qul huwallahu ahad, qul huwallahu ahad, qul huwallahu ahad. Like read that surah 3 times, then read surah qul a'udhu bi falaq 3 times, qul a'udhu bin nas 3 times. Is there a minimum height the khuf should reach on the legs above the ankle? So as long as the ankle bone is hidden. Salam alaikum, Zob, ahlan wa sahlan. During ghusl, is it better to start with washing private parts or finish with washing them? Start with washing private parts, ideally. And how far down does the khuf have to be removed? So the heel. So as long as the heel has not come out. So if the heel comes out, and then it's over. Would tax avoidance on wages be allowed, especially during the genocide? Possibly. Ustad, as long as you are doing it legally, obviously, you don't want to get arrested. So as long as it's done in a way that's legal. Yeah. So I think there's a law that you can actually contact the government and say, you're refusing to pay your taxes for such and such a reason. Ustad, look at the link. He clearly said that istighatha is shirk. Which link? I don't have any link. I can't see any link, unfortunately. If most of the masajid in my area, remember, I will only read something he said if it's in his book or if it's on his tweet. Anything else that someone has referenced secondhand, don't bother quoting it to me. Yeah, because most likely it's just been altered. I've heard Mufti Taqi say that many people have altered things that he said. So unless it's in an official book that he's written, or it's in on the tweet, because his tweets are his, then I'm not going to bother reading it. If most of the masajid in my area, including the one I go to, follow the first Asr timing as a Hanafi, is it better for me to play? Yeah, it's fine then. As a Hanafi, are we Ash'aris or Maturidis? We're none of them. Ash'ari Maturidis came much after Abu Hanifa. We're Tahawis, Aqidah Tahawis. Is Qurbani given for Hajj on what day of Dhul Hijjah? No, the people of Hajj do not do Qurbani. Non-Hajis do Qurbani on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah. Technically, do we say that the mouth and water are just like the body with regards to the rulings of washing, or the madmada and istinshaq have specific conditions like other madhab? No, we say they're like the body. They just have to be washed. Ibn Abbas reported the Messenger ﷺ said, the best water on the face of the earth is Zamzam water. In it is food for nourishment. What is the interpretation of Zamzam being food? Yeah, so I can't remember what the exact Arabic is for this. If you can get the Arabic for it, then I'll tell you. It depends how they've translated food, what they've translated it from. Is it okay for adults to keep toys? Yes. Do you think we are producing graduates who are leaving at competent or satisfactory level? If there are shortcomings, then have you done anything? Yeah, I think it's a big problem. There's a big problem of graduate. See, look, the problem is this: when a person graduates from madrasa, they have to be able to teach the deen, all the books that they've studied. They have to be able to teach those to the next generation. If they can't teach those, then that means they're not competent. They have to make themselves competent. That's the problem. So, being able to give a talk, being able to teach a maktab, being able to read Quran and make du'as and these things, these are not things that show that you're qualified in ilm. No, they don't. Anyone can do them. Anyone that's learned a bit of Quran and learned a bit of Nasiha can do them. So this is the problem. This is what we need, and this is what we try and do in so far with the full-time course. We try to develop this inside them, leadership skills, yeah, especially academic leadership skills. Yeah, and so far we've definitely implemented it. So we can only do what obviously in so far as other madrasas have to deal with their own. Is there taqleed on Aqidah issues? No. And is basing Aqidah on single ahad narrations going against Hanafi school? No. You can have Aqidah issues, but there won't be Aqidah issues that will bring you into or out of Islam. Yeah, so Aqidah is qat'i, has to be qat'i. So anything that's established through khabar wahid is treated like that. If a person denies it, they can't be a kafir, but they can be described as being deviated. What does it mean to blow on oneself after 3 quls? Do we blow in our hands? Yes. So you spit on your hands lightly, and then you rub it on all of your body. Okay. Must one say Subhana Rabbiyal A'la 3 times in sujood? Yeah. So it's recommended, highly recommended to say in sujood. Must one gargle, blow nose, and wash face 3 times? Yeah, this is recommended to do these things. It's recommended. It's good to do them. Ya Allah. Is there any hadith which says that going to visit deceased relatives or friends brings them comfort? Yes. There are narrations. You can find those narrations. Mishkat has those narrations. I can't remember exactly which are the books. Have you seen the dictionary called the Clear Quran Dictionary? No, I haven't. I haven't seen it. Is it good? The Clear Quran Dictionary. Is it a new one? Clear Quran Dictionary. Okay, looks interesting. Aisha, who has to give Qurbani during the month of Dhul Hijjah as an obligation? So watch my video on this. I've made a video on Qurbani. You guys can watch it. So Qurbani. And share my videos, guys. Make sure you hit the like button, guys. Share my videos. Mr. Foodie, is it true that trousers underneath your ankle is fine as long as it's not intended for pride? Yes, that's the Hanafi position. Wa alaikum assalam, SC1. I hope you're well, alhamdulillah. Do you have any particular advice for these special days in Dhul Hijjah? The main thing is stay away from sin as much as you can in these days. And make sure you pray your 5 times salat as much as you can. Read as much as you can, Quran. Stay away from things that will distract you, like social media, as much as you can in these days. Like, treat these days like you would like in Ramadan. Fast as much as you can, as much Quran as you can, as much Nafil as you can. That's what I would definitely recommend. Benefit, benefit, benefit. Any cure or amil you can recommend to help someone who has a stammer? I don't know. Maybe try speaking to the doctor. Yeah, that would be the first place to go to. Some people do business that are halal shar'an but unlawful as per the law of the land. Would the earning be haram? No, not necessarily. Is there any times when talfiq between madhab is allowed? As I heard that you can mix rulings with different matters. Yeah, so as long as there is a need for it. If there is a valid need for it, like there's a situation where someone has to, let's say, travel and they won't be able to pray their salats on time, so they can take the position of the Shafis and Jama. Your channel is a real blessing, alhamdulillah. May Allah bless you for your hard work. Are there any channels which you could recommend for a student of knowledge? So if you want to learn Arabic, I would definitely recommend channels like Maulana Hashim. What's his channel called? Al-Qalam. So Al-Qalam, Man Hashim, that's a very good channel. If you want to focus on learning, improving your Arabic grammar and things. Learning Arabic as well, there's a channel by Khasu, guy called Khasu. Learn Arabic with Khasu. Yeah, these two are very good channels if you want to improve your Arabic. Definitely recommend them. You're welcome, Tans. Thank you so much for your time and questions. All Allah elevate. Ameen, Ameen. All of us. Ameen. What's the best dua or acts to do in intending a good righteous spouse? رَبَّنَا هَبْ لَنَا مِنْ أَزْوَاجِنَا وَذُرِّيَّاتِنَا قُرَّةَ أَعْيُنٍ. Yeah, best one, inshallah. Can a husband pray for his wife's qurbani, pay for this qurbani, even when she has nisab amount? Yeah, as long as she gives permission. Yeah, that's fine. Do you always have to do Umrah when entering Saudi, even if it's for tourism? No, only if you go to Makkah. Only if you have intended to go to Makkah. What is the difference between Subhana Rabbil Azim and Subhana Rabbil A'la? Subhana Rabbil Azim, Azim means glorifying, honoring, magnifying, and A'la means highest. So because when you're in sajda, you're at the lowest position, you say the opposite. So Subhana Rabbil A'la, A'la means the highest. So when you're at the lowest, you praise Allah who's the highest. And then Ta'zim means honoring. So the bowing down is like you're honoring Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Who can we take a fatwa from? Someone who you trust with their knowledge and fear of Allah. Does one have to study, example, Usul Shashi before learning Al-Hidayah? No, they don't have to. No, they don't have to. Right, let's check out Curious Cat then. See what you guys are saying on Curious Cat. Okay. Do you recommend hands reduction of students? Yes, definitely. I've actually got a video on how to navigate through handswear. Inshallah, you can check it out on my YouTube channel. Is Qiyas implemented today by scholars who drive ruling? Of course, yes. Yes. It's used. Assalamu alaikum. Completely and absolutely theoretical question. If we were to theoretically do dhabah of a human being, perhaps a criminal who is to be executed, would the dhabah of his body be according to the Hanafis? So long as blood flows from him, he will be tahir. Assalamu alaikum. Fasting 9 days of Dhul Hijjah. If we follow the local sighting of Saudi, if Saudi started on day before, are we allowed to fast the day Saudi are doing Eid? Yes. Yes. Yeah. So basically, the Eid that's prohibited is your Eid. What you consider to be Eid is the day that you're not supposed to fast. Most SPF contain alcohol. Can this be worn during Hajj? Yes. Is there capital punishment legislated in Sharia practicing black magic? No. It's left to the discretion of the judge. If a person with waswasa knows that they did not do ghusl properly for around 6 to 12 months, do those salah have to be made up? If a person with waswasa knows they did not do ghusl properly, no. If a man transitions from woman fully, like you won't even notice he was a man, and then after in life he regrets it and wants to follow Islam, but reverting back to a man with operations is going to be risk his life, hurt him physically, does he have to cover up as a woman or as a man even though he looks like a woman? I don't know this question. It's a tough question. I honestly don't know. If I put music warning on a video, if someone views it, is it a sin? No. Assalamu alaikum. In ghusl, do I need to wash the entire mouth at one single scoop? Assalam. Yes. Either is fine. Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Hope you're well. So, one of my uncles said if he passes a certain test, he will give a certain amount of money, fi sabilillah. He did not clarify what cause he will give the money to. Now he didn't pass the test, but is willing to give the money. Now is he allowed to give the money for this cause? Yes. Okay, right. Would going to the beach be permissible in the summer months when you know that people will be there dressing properly? I would say you should avoid it. If you're a practicing person, then you should definitely avoid it. Go to part of the beach where there aren't any people. I have learned that you can make the ad'iyah in salat, which can only be asked to Allah. So can we say, narrated, Allahumma wasi' li fi dari? Of course. Do you have any favorite Islamic science? Fiqh. Is fard salah in sajda? Are you allowed to make nafil dua? Yes. Is meat in Mecca and Medina halal? I think it is. I eat it there everywhere. Is it permissible to act on every hadith you read or hear at least once? Yes, I would say yes. If a person is known in their community for being involved in masajid or rizma'as, is it advisable for them to go to a wedding where they know there'll be music? I say they should avoid it. They should totally avoid it. Can you, unless it's a very close relative, go there, just meet them and then go. Can you read nafil prayers like the Tahajjud if you have qaza umri left? Yes, you can. Wa alaikum assalam, Paywant, ahlan wa sahlan. John Doe, Muhtasab, you ever planning to teach online Alamiya at Sufa? I don't think so, because all my time is used up basically. I don't have the time in the evenings. I'm teaching every single day. So unfortunately, unless I deprive the other students of their classes, unless you make like special du'as, I get deprived of teaching them. I heard one should stop nafil prayers for responding to their parents, for example. Is that true? Some of the scholars say yeah. Can you ask someone for a 10k loan and say that I will pay you back 10k plus 1k in hadiyah? No, that's riba. Why is it permissible to act on every hadith you hear? Would that not be basically making your own fiqh? No, because some of the early scholars held this view as well. Yeah, so many of the early scholars held this view that they would act upon. So it's done out of just honoring the Prophet ﷺ. It's not done out of fiqh. Ruling on nafil fast if you have kafara or qada left. Yes, you can. As you said, there are some times when talfiq is okay. Can you give an example of when you can? Yeah, I just gave you one, bhai. I said to you, an example of it would be where a person is... Okay, unfortunately, my phone battery is about to die. So unless I can get this phone charged up somehow... so I gave you an example. I said to you, look, if you're in a situation where you can't pray the salats on time, you can do jama. If it's very difficult for you to pray on a journey. Yeah, so in that situation, talfiq would be permissible. So you can follow the Shafi madhab on that issue. What I would suggest, look, if you want to understand this issue of talfiq, can you read Arabic? Because this is not like a 5-minute answer I can give. It requires a long discussion. Even within the Hanafi school, there's a whole discussion regarding different types of talfiq, different situations of talfiq. So it's not just like a 5-minute answer where I can just say a yes or no. So if you can read Arabic, I can give you 2 books that you can read, and they've got chapters on talfiq, which are very, very good. Wa alaikum assalam, Hamza, ahla wa sahlan. Any recommendations for a good, unusual flavored tea? This is a nice one I've been having past few days. mango and saffron. Mango and saffron tea. Sheikh, I have final exams. Can I pray at home? Because some scholars say that going to the masjid is mandatory. Yeah, so if you have exams and you know that it's going to find it difficult to go, look, if you go to the masjid and pray, maybe Allah will put barakah in there for you. Who knows? Yeah, you might go to the masjid, Allah puts barakah, and that time of studying, Allah puts loads of barakah, and you pass the exams. Just remember that. So if you are definitely finding it very hard to attend the masjid and do your revision at home, then I would say, okay, pray at home for these days. Then make sure after the exams you go to the masjid. Should I start with 3 Medina books or Ajurumiyah? 3 Medina books. Trying to build my reading comprehension in Arabic. Some portions of a text I can read no problem and understand it in the same text. Some parts I just can't get my head around. Any advice? Keep on reading. Change your genre, what you're reading. Read storybooks. Yeah, make sure you change your genre, because some people might be good at reading, for example, fiqh books, but when it comes to trying to read something like Manfluti or Ali Tantawi, they find it very hard. Or some people might find reading newspapers, Arabic newspapers, very hard. So play around with various genre, inshallah. So what is nisab based on savings? Yeah, gold and silver. Yeah, gold. So check out the crash course that I put up on zakat. Watch that one. In there I explain about nisab, what nisab is. What's your favorite tea? My favorite tea is mint tea. What if people do not know anything about how hadiths or fiqh work? I assume that scholars said that are knowledgeable, not laymen. Who would do that nowadays? What if people do not know anything about how hadiths or fiqh work? I assume that scholars who said that are knowledgeable, not laymen. I don't understand your question. What if people would do that nowadays? Sorry, I don't understand your question. In Fard Salah, are you allowed to make nafil du'as? Yes. Can that talfiq be temporary, so you become shafi in that aspect for that situation? Yeah, so you don't look, no one's becoming shafi. The vast majority of people who ask me these questions, they are not following a madhab, they are following a scholar. Remember that. You are following a scholar. So when people say that they're following a madhab, they're not really following a madhab, because you only follow a madhab if you know how it works. So it's basically it's one of those kind of things. So I would say, look, when you dip out of your madhab to follow another position, you're doing it just temporarily, just for that particular case, and then you're just following whatever the scholars say, or if you are obviously well versed in the madhab, you're following the madhab in reality. Shad, your stick figures for the animals were great. Stick figures for the animals, yeah? You like those? Tayyib, alaikum assalam, wa sahlan, my brother Tayyib. Was there any scholar, Ustad, which was a huge inspiration for you? Of course. I would say one of my teachers, Mufti Saqib, is probably the biggest inspiration for me. Definitely. 7 years I spent with him. Is Qurbani obligatory on a person who has debt with the bank? Check out my Qurbani video. So it depends what kind of debt they have and how much is. Mango and saffron sounds amazing. You're welcome, my brother. Wa alaikum assalam, nature. I am from Kashmir. Ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome. There is a Hanafi ruling that a lady who performs ghusl during Ramadan post-hayd, she acts as though she is fasting for the remainder of the day. Does this ruling also apply to the lady who attains purity on the day of Arafah and wish to fast? Yes, the same thing. Can you eat barbecue and bacon flavors crisps? Yeah, as long as it's just a flavor and it doesn't contain any of the real ingredients, then it's okay. I am not following the path of seeking knowledge as I used to do. Please do pray for me and suggest me how I can gain. My advice, nature, would be get yourself into the company of some good brothers, yeah, good people. Stay with them, inshallah, and then hopefully, inshallah, you'll start to get inspiration. Remember, where do all of us get inspiration from? Others, isn't it? We see things, we get inspiration. We see someone working very hard, we want to work hard. We see someone reading Quran, we want to read Quran. So you get inspiration from good company. Legally Kafna Salam, what's the difference between Fard al-Ain, Fard Kifaya? Fard al-Ain means every individual has to do it. Fard Kifaya means as long as one person has done it, it drops from the rest of the people. It's called communal obligation. Do you know usuli principles of other madhabs? Not very detailed, no. I think some comparison video would be interesting. Yeah, I don't know them in very much detail. Is dropshipping halal? It depends how it's done. What made you seriously start your journey? I just wanted to spend my life in understanding Islam. That's what it was. Yeah, so I think everyone has their own passions. So when you get your passion, which is a good passion, make sure you hold on to it. Yeah, make sure you hold on to it. And, you know, these are opportunities. These are opportunities Allah Subhanahu wa Taala gives you, and if those opportunities disappear, then that's it. You know, you lose the motivation. So when I got my passion to study ilm, I just went for it. Because remember, after some time, sometimes you lose your passion as well. So losing passion is also like something really serious as well. Wa alaikum assalam, ahlan wa sahlan man fado, ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome, my brother. Jazakallah khair. May Allah keep you happy and give you happiness in this dunya and akhirah. I didn't find the answer in the video, so please explain. So, what was your question? Some things which are not explicitly mentioned in Quduri, like in wudu, where Quduri doesn't mention any shurut of wudu, like some primers do. How does a student cope with that? So this is why my advice to everyone is, when you're studying Hanafi fiqh, make sure that you start off with a good teacher who explains Quduri to you, because that is where the asal of the madhab comes from. Asal madhab is like the core of the madhab, like the foundations of a building, and then everything after that, you learn it later on. You learn, some scholars came out with some shurut that other scholars didn't agree with. Yeah. So that's something that you're going to solve. Main is you have to understand what the early Hanafis said and what they didn't say, and then what the later Hanafis have actually added on. Have you witnessed any karamat from your mashayikh? Can't remember, you know. When you said it depends how dropshipping can be halal, can you explain? So can you give me an exact scenario of how a dropshipping works? Because there's so many scenarios. Honestly, I don't have time to go through each one. If you can tell me a specific case of dropshipping you know very well and show me exactly how it works from beginning to end, and I'll tell you whether it's allowed or not. See, when you guys ask me questions regarding trade, you have to understand there's not just one. Dropshipping is a term. There's not just one way dropshipping is done. There are many ways that dropshipping are done. Yeah, there might be some common ways that you might be familiar with. So you have to understand that you have to be very specific in what you're asking. Regarding the fasting on Arafah for a lady who enters purity on the same day, what's the reason she pretends to fast? No, she doesn't. She does. Sorry, she doesn't pretend to fast. Yeah, she doesn't pretend to fast. It's only in Ramadan she pretends to fast. No, she doesn't fast on the day. Is Qurbani obligatory for a person who has debt with the bank? So the question is that as long as they have the nisab. So in the video I've mentioned they have to have the nisab of zakat, which is at the moment about £350. So the debt of the bank, what kind of debt is it with the bank? You have to explain that kind of debt. Is it a mortgage debt? Is it just a temporary debt? What kind of debt is it? If it's a mortgage debt, then what the person owes the bank for the next 12 months, they can deduct that from their savings, and whatever they have left, as long as it's more than £350, they have to give Qurbani. And if it's less than £350, then they don't give Qurbani. What's the best book to study for Aqidah? Quran. Without a joke, honestly. I've told you guys this so many times. I'm surprised at students who want to read Aqidah Tahawiyah, but they have not gone through the whole Quran. I'm shocked. Someone wants to understand Aqidah, but they haven't gone through the Quran. What did the Sahaba go through to understand Islam? The Quran, isn't it? Quran. So do what the Sahaba did. Start with the Quran. Go through the whole Quran. That is the best place to start your Aqidah. What's your stance on Tasawwuf? Tasawwuf is a very good thing. It's basically spiritual mentorship. That's what it is. Just like you have physical therapy, you have fitness mentorship, you have all these different mentorships. I would say mentoring, just like you go to the gym and you want to lose weight or you want to increase your body mass, muscle mass, then you need a mentor, right? Like a PT, private trainer. So this is just spiritual private trainers who are very good at their job. Yeah. So make sure this is the main thing. If you know, if it helps you, if the soul helps you, go for it. Definitely, I would encourage you. But I would say the main thing at the soul, I would say, is this: just get in contact with someone who can keep a check on you. That's the main thing. It's accountability. That's the main thing. There is no online playlist for Al Hidayah, right? I teach it on Wednesday, so if you email me, I'll give you access to the class. So far, we're going to start Hajj in next week or the week after. We're going to start the chapter of Hajj. So we reached up to the end of fasting. Ustad, can you give us some weekly advice, please? My weekly advice this week, inshallah, guys, is stay away from sins for the next 10 days. Work as hard as you can in obeying Allah and try your best to do as much as you can so that you can gain reward. I have read Tuhfat al-Saniyya from you. Please suggest which book I should read after this. So I have not taught Tuhfat al-Saniyya, so I don't know how you studied it from me, my brother. I've taught Ajurumiyya, so maybe you're talking about Ajurumiyya. After Ajurumiyya, I have a commentary called Sharh Qatr al-Nada. Yeah, Sharh Qatr al-Nada on my uruk.com. But what I would suggest is the main thing you need to do, nature, is you need to read Arabic books. Read Arabic story books to improve your Arabic, without a doubt. Jazakallah khair, you're welcome. So would you feel offended people call you Sheikh? Of course not. You can call me brother, you can call me Liaqat. I have no problem with whatever you call me. As long as you don't say anything bad about me, then I'm okay. Abdullah, assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. Can you define what a ilm shaqiq is? Shaqiq, means your dad's brother. Shaqiq means like your dad and him have the same mother and father. Yeah, they have the same mother and father. How much does the course cost? I think it's £75 or £50. I can't remember. 50, 75. What's your email, Sheikh? Check at the bottom. It should be coming up soon. So on the ticket at the bottom, going around. Yeah, you should hopefully see it in a bit. Are there any fiqh books you have entirely memorized? No. Mufti, give us the benefits of cycling. Helps your heart, helps your blood flow. It keeps you motivated. It helps your skin. It keeps you fit and healthy. It's good for going outdoors. Yeah, I would definitely recommend. I don't normally see scholars and imams exercise. Your tips are needed. Definitely. I try to walk 10,000 steps a day. I try to do skipping a day if I can, do cycling, play badminton if I can. And the main thing is just to keep healthy. Keeping healthy will help you have good sleep. It will help you to be able to become more productive in your day because you feel less lethargic and tired. Yeah, definitely, I would say. Yeah, those of you guys who are not used to exercising, you'll see yourself. You'll sometimes feel very tired and lazy, or you'll see your body weight increasing as well, things like that. So you need to take care of yourself. Make sure you take care of yourself, especially if you're young. If you're young, at the moment your body's metabolism is probably quite good, but once you start hitting late 30s and get into 40s, you'll see your body will start slowing down, and then you're going to need all that harm that you gave your body in the early years, or the lack of exercise, is going to catch up. Jazakallah khair. Yes, Ajurumia, you're welcome. Bridge to eternity. Wa alaikum salam. Advice in general. Also make dua. I'm going abroad next week, Jummah, for a month. I get safe. Peace. May Allah make it easy. My advice to you would be to make as much dua as you can for yourself and for the Muslim Ummah. Aisha, alaikum assalam. Have a good rest. Jazakallah khair. What would your biggest advice for your beginner students of knowledge? My biggest advice would be take as much benefit as you can from your teachers whilst you're studying with them. Get to know your teachers, speak to your teachers, ask them if they need anything. Try to spend as much time as you can interacting with them. because that's what you're not gonna get after you graduate. So you want to be able to benefit as much as you can. Stevie, do you have a TikTok account? Yes. TikTok account is called Roots of Knowledge. Roots of Knowledge. Do you know Mufti Tawseer from Darul Ilm? Thoughts on Mufti Saab's iftar course? I don't know about the iftar course. I wouldn't be able to comment on that. I haven't met Mufti Tawseer. I know about him. I've heard about him, but I don't know him personally. Reminder for that fiqh curriculum video. I made it last week. Oh, sorry. I actually said I was going to make it, but inshallah in the future I'm going to make it in the future. Don't know when. But I did explain last week. If you were on last week, in last week's session, I actually went through it. Did I go through it last week? No, actually didn't I? Are there significant differences between Hanafis back then and more modern day Hanafis? Yes, definitely. The roots of the hair are najis. Is it forgiven unless it's a lot plucked hair? No, the roots of hair are not najis. I don't know where you got that from. Jazakallah khair. Translation by Abdullah Yusuf. Is his translation okay? I don't know. I haven't really gone through enough to be able to say so. I would rather choose translation of Mufti Taqi Usmani or Mahmoud Piktal or something like Abdul Halim, Dr. Abdul Halim. Oh yeah, I'm going to tell you about a book, isn't it? New book I got. So 1 second. Let me get this new book. 1 second, guys. Give me a second, I'll be back. Yeah. Right, so this is the book, guys. This is the book, Overcoming Obsessive Compulsive Disorder. Now, I don't know if it's not zooming in. Put my hand there. Okay, it's better. Overcoming Obsessive Compulsive Disorder. Okay, so we're doing a lot of gardening, guys. My fingers are all gone black. Can you see? I've been de-weeding. So this book, right? I would definitely recommend it if you suffer from waswasa. If you have, now I've highlighted some parts of it. I'm going to read some parts of it to you. Yeah. Right. So basically, this book has been written in order to help people to identify that they have waswasa, OCD, and also practical steps to try and overcome it as well. Yeah. Okay. So let me read some parts to you. So this is some parts that I've highlighted. Okay. So it says, it is in the nature of the problem that OCD makes you think that the problem is something else. You feel dirty, unsure, or responsible for harm, and it seems like these feelings reflect the reality. These feelings are not true. If you are a washer, your problem is not dirt. If you are a checker, your problem is not uncertainty. If you fear that you will harm others, your problem is not loss of control, and so on. The problem is worry about being contaminated, causing harm, of not being careful enough. Yeah. So interesting how some of you guys ask questions about, have I washed myself properly? Have I washed my mouth out properly? Have I done this properly? It's all OCD, this is. So then he says, okay, where's this? The loving mother has thoughts of harming her children. The person who values cleanliness is tortured by the idea that they are spreading contamination. So some people have this, they think, I touched the toilet seat and my hand's gone dirty now. If I touch my mobile phone, that's gone dirty now. If someone else touches my phone, their hands are going to become dirty and their salat won't be valid. People have these thoughts. The religious person is tortured by apparently blasphemous thoughts and so on. So there's some people who have OCD to such a level, they think they've done kufr all the time. They think they've done something that's taken them out of Islam. They keep on thinking that. He hasn't mentioned this, but I would also add to this, people who think that they've given their wives divorce. Yeah, so that's also another thing. These ideas, okay. So he says, but it does not always seem that way from inside. When it starts, it often masquerades as a friend or a helper. If only you can do a little more. This is what the waswasa says to you. Like you're doing the waswasa in your mind. There's a voice that says to you, "Oh, do a bit more, then everything will be fine." It helps me to stop worrying. Yeah, and then he says, a quick check becomes several checks, then becomes hours of checking, and finally endless checking. This is what happens to a lot of people with waswasa. It starts off a little bit, and then it carries on, and then it goes worse, and it goes worse, and it goes worse, and then eventually they don't even realize it. It started off washing their private parts for 5 minutes, and then it ended up they're in the toilet half an hour, just cleaning and washing themselves. They keep checking, and there's women who have when their menstruation has finished, they keep checking. You know, their discharge, has it come out, has it not, and it just stresses them out. The reality is that OCD is best thought of being like a bully or a blackmailer, progressively demanding and taking more and more, finally forcing the sufferer to obey its every whim, often to the point of total humiliation and subjugation. Does that sound familiar? Yeah. Okay, here he says, it seems likely that there are many people in the community who deal with their OCD without professional help. I hope this book will increase the number of people seeking advice. So, I keep telling you guys, you have to seek professional help. Yeah. In this way, they are gradually recruited into rituals and can end up behaving as if they were obsessional about themselves. So this is talking about the caregivers. So even caregivers get sucked into. So if you are like a parent who's taking care of you or your spouse or someone, they might end up having to do rituals just for your sake, just to make you feel comfortable. Okay, there's a nice little anecdote that he gives. I'm just gonna find where it is. Where is it? There's a lot of like case studies in this because non-Muslims have a lot of this kind of stuff as well. Yeah, but I really think someone in the Muslim community should definitely, you know, do something. He's got 7 steps over here of how to like how to kind of overcome waswasa. Yeah, 7 steps. Obviously, I don't have time to go through all these, but I don't know, maybe I might just make like a vlog or something. Okay, so you got these are some questions you need to ask yourself to check if you've got waswasa. Yeah. So number 1, do you wash or clean a lot? Number 2, do you check things a lot? Do you keep repeatedly checking things? Number 3, is there any thought that keeps bothering you that you would like to get rid of but you can't, like divorce in marriage or things about Allah? Do your activities take a long time to finish? And are you concerned with orderliness or symmetry? This is basically, if you tick off one of these boxes, most likely you have OCD. Now, obviously, the main thing that he says is, look, it's very difficult to be able to deal with OCD because OCD, it kind of overlaps with other underlying problems. Someone might have autism, someone might have ADHD or something else. So it's kind of difficult to kind of deal with it. Okay, look at this. He says this is an example of someone who is suffering from waswasa. Okay, he says, imagine imagine you are placed in a field blindfolded and given a toolbox to carry. You are told your job is to run around this field blindfolded. Now, unbeknown to you, in the field are a large number of deep holes. You don't know that at first. So you start running around, and sooner or later you fall into a large hole. You cannot climb out, and there are no escape routes and that you can find. Not surprisingly, you feel inside the toolbox you were given to see what is in there. Maybe you find something you can use to get out. The only tool is a spade, and so you dutifully start digging your hole further. Soon you notice you are not out of your hole. So you try digging faster and faster, but you are still in the hole. So you try big spadefuls, you try throwing the dirt far away from you, and so on, but still you're in that hole. See, this is what's happening. So people are trying to overcome. People are trying to come over waswasa, but they're getting worse. Like the way that they're trying to come out with techniques to comfort themselves or give themselves some sort of relief. Does this relate to your experience of OCD? You might be seeking help from this book or going to a therapist in the hope that you can find a bigger or better spade, perhaps a golden spade, to get rid of your intrusive thoughts or anxiety. Well, you cannot dig your way out. The digging you can do just digs you in further. However, there may be another way out, as we're about to show you, a ladder. Right? So, however, you won't be able to find the ladder blindfolded until you drop the spade. That's it. So see that kind of sums up for a lot of people who suffer from waswasa. This is the kind of problem that they have. They're trying to use all these techniques to try and they're doing it all privately with themselves, and their family is probably realizing around them there's something wrong, right? And whether it's men or whether it's women suffering from this, it's a common problem. Many people in Muslims have problem with reciting certain things, reciting tashahhud, ashhadu, ashhadu, reading it 10, 15 times. Maybe they have to, when they wash themselves in the toilet, they have to wash in a certain manner. Maybe they keep having thoughts that their wudu was broken. Maybe they think they haven't done their wudu properly and they have to wash it several times again and again. Yeah. So I would definitely say that's something which, anyone who's suffering from it, do not feel you're alone, but make sure you try to overcome this. Yeah. That's just a few things that I've read today on this. That's one of the things, but I can't find where I highlighted them. Yeah, and this is basically how they go about it. The main thing that the guy mentions, look, they don't know what triggers OCD. Now, there's three things that could cause OCD. One could be psychological, one could be life experience, and one could be genetics. So they're saying there's probably these three things responsible for OCD waswasa. So it could be in your family genes, right? And it only gets triggered at certain times in your life. And life experience as well. If someone's been through trauma, maybe someone was molested when they were kids, maybe someone was treated badly, maybe someone went through some really bad problem, depression or something, and then after that. And psychology as well. Psychology is one of the things. So this is why treating it requires, like, there's not like a universal rule to treat it. It just requires case by case. Okay, let's try to find where does he mention. Yeah, okay. So let me quickly read to you the 7. Yeah. So people with waswasa, in order to overcome it, you have to trigger it. If you're scared of touching the toilet seat is going to trigger your OCD, you need to touch it. You have to. You have to trigger it. The more you trigger it, the more you're going to overcome it. It's like a fear. The more you trigger it, the more you're going to overcome it. And this is why a lot of people, they're scared. They're scared of touching the toilet seat with their hand, or they're scared of, I don't know, something else, picking up a baby with a nappy on, thinking maybe the urine has gone on our body. Yeah. So it's that kind of. So he's got like an acronym: face everything and recover. That's the main way. So develop a hierarchy of triggers. That's the first thing. So you have to develop a hierarchy like this, basically. Yeah. So you draw a table for yourself, and then you got to list for yourself all the things that are causing your, like, for example, is it like order? Leave drops of water on my leaving drops of water on my shower door. Make soap dish holder in bathroom not straight. Mess up towels in the bathroom. So you got to do these things. So some people have checking problem. So deliberately leave the shower dripping. Leave the house without checking my handbag. Park the car without pulling the handbrake too hard. Yeah. So these are kind of, you got to kind of trigger. You got to give yourself triggers, and you got to measure those triggers. Out of 100, what would you give that trigger? Number 2, face your fear. Just do it. So the trigger, you have to do it. Number 3, make exposure long enough. Expose yourself as long as you can to that trigger. Number 4, make exposure frequent enough, so do it repetitively. Number 5, no anxiety reducing strategies. Do not try to do anything to try and reduce your anxiety. You need to get that anxiety as high as you can, right? Because then it peaks and then it goes down. So you just have to wait until it peaks and naturally goes down. That's when you're going to recover. Number 6, if you do a ritual, repeat the exposure. Number 7, monitor your exposure tasks. Yeah, so keep a check. And then he's got like all these tables and things that he's made. Well, it's both of them anyway. It's just not one person, it's two people. Yeah, so that's what you have to do. Yeah, definitely recommend it, guys. I'm going through it at the moment, and I would definitely recommend for you guys to check out this book. See how, maybe if you're suffering from it as well, it can help you. And one of the things that they say is actually bad for it is asking other people for like assurance. So when you guys ask me questions and I give you an answer, they're saying that's not good for it, because what that's doing is prolonging the waswasa. So when you get waswasa, it's just like kind of revolving around in your head and it's prolonging. Interesting. Okay. Check curious cat. Is it bad if a lady wears very baggy clothes and is self-conscious near men that her body shape is not shown in any way, because society teaches us that this is a sign of lack of? No, it's fine. It's a good thing. Is it allowed to wear wide sleeve abaya if you know that the wrist is going to be exposed, and is wrist part of the aura? Yes, wrist is part of the aura. If your wrist gets exposed accidentally, that's fine, right? But if you deliberately make it that you're showing the wrist, then that's where the fuqaha says a problem. Okay. Are you allowed to cut different lengths of hair for the male folk? Yes. Since there are differences, do you primarily take from one of the two? Since there are differences. So you try to take from the later ones, yeah. That's what you do. You take from the later ones. Mutitaki is quite comprehensive. Abdul Halim is easy. I think it's mentioned in Maraqi, the tips of the plucked hair. The tips of the plucked hair of human beings is considered impure. Are you sure? Do you speak Urdu? Ji, bilkul. Much Hanafi literature is in Urdu nowadays. I've heard. No, it's not that much. There's quite a bit, but I wouldn't say it's necessary. You don't need to learn Urdu to be a very good Hanafi. There's many Arab Hanafis who are very, very good. I'm still having a hard time understanding what Am Shaqiq and Am Ab. How do you understand the relationship the person that's being inherited from? Like I said, my brother, Am Shaqiq means if your father has a brother who they both share the same mom and dad. If your father has a half brother who shares the same dad, it's called that uncle is called an uncle that shares the same dad. I mean, the mothers are different, but dad's the same. Does that make sense? Do you have any good recommendations for finding out about inheritance? I'd like to make my will. I know an organization in the UK called I Wills. You can contact them. Do you know, or you can just contact a mufti or someone who can help you make it. Do you know if Ibn Abdul Barr's book Jami al-Bayan al-Ilm al-Fadlihi can be found in English? Yes. Yeah, you can get it in English. I think it's called the Compendium of Knowledge or something like that. I've started to see ulama cutting hair different lengths. Is it permissible as long as it's not qaza? So, Mr. Foodie, do you know what qaza is according to Hanafis? Qaza is if you shave your whole head and you leave the size of 3 fingers in one place. That's qaza. Any other hairstyle is not qaza. So as long as you don't imitate another religion, you're fine to cut your hair as you want. Does listening practice and comprehension reading help comprehension? Is listening audiobooks after reading? Very good, excellent. Do it, yeah. I wanted to ask regarding I want to ask regarding the whether having dental implants is permissible, considering they can require bovine bone and also membrane from a pig? Try to ask them for a vegan alternative. Yeah, I'm sure they'll give you a vegan alternative. So speak to them, ask them for a vegan alternative. If not, and you must have this procedure, then it's fine. My little brother has OCD. If he has too much time in his hands, if someone makes say it'll increase, he needs to be occupied and has tasks to do. Subhanallah. For niyyah in salat, do we need to intend the fardiyah of the salat like Shafis, or do we need to just intend dhuhr salah? For example, yeah, just dhuhr salah. This sounds a really good book. I think I'll need to get it, definitely. Salaam alaikum assalam. What's the book title? Yeah, Obsessive Compulsive Disorder. I've also heard there are religious OCD books. Yeah, I've heard that too. I don't have them. Yeah, just checked the Seeker's Guidance Fatwa on the plucking hair thing. Compendium of Knowledge and Wisdom. Oh, is that by wisdom? Yeah. Oh, okay. I apologize. Okay. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna finish it there. Jazakumullah khair. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Inshallah, I'll see you guys next week. Hopefully, hopefully I will. I'm saying hopefully because it's gonna be Arafat. Then I might not be able to come on. Yeah, because inshallah I'm gonna try to fast inshallah on Arafat. So then after Maghrib, and then probably won't be able to come on next week. Friday, hopefully I should come on. Friday I should be able to come on, but Saturday I might not be able to. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Take care, inshallah. Okay, I have a friend who has addiction to private videos and plans on doing zina to satisfy himself and say that. Says again, what advice to give him? I would say to him, look, he needs to really sort out his life. Yeah, tell him to contact an organization that helps people overcome their obsessions with this. The organization called Tazkiyah. Tell him to come. All right, guys, take care, inshallah.